minutes after 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. It's 22 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 21 out west in Montego Bay. Good morning to you wherever you are. What's the temperature in the world where you are? I hope it's not too cold. It's still spring in a lot of North America. And so, you know,
and we're loving that.
Yeah,
new clothes, new times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I'm talking about new clothes and new colors, I gotta tell you. I don't know the man them over here though. Why don't can't dress? We're not
play. We don't play.
One of the things that I've heard is that the men over at CVM on Sunrise, y'all are hot. Yeah, on the dress good. Or the dress really nice. And I'm like, get all this put together.
You know, they say every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Speaking of sharp-dressed men, in time for the headlines, we have Renaldo, Geraldo, Faldo, Adam. Morning, Renaldo.
Good morning. Good morning. Gentleman in red. He's sitting with us on Sunrise in his red tie and socks.
Lovely.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm very well, thank you.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's get into the headlines, shall we?
Definitely.
So, first up, NWC amnesty extended to May 31st. The National Water Commission, NWC, has reported a successful outcome for its recent debt amnesty program, writing off over $200 million in outstanding customer arrears while simultaneously collecting almost $100 million in revenue. The program, which was initially set to conclude at the end of last month, has been extended to May 31. This extension offers customers an additional opportunity to clear their outstanding balances with the NWC at a reduced rate.
Nice.
I think it's a positive. My only thing is I don't want us to get into an amnesty culture because it is possible. So, like, people will allow things to accrue because, government soon give an amnesty. Or, we will beg an amnesty. The truth is that you should not have to wait until there is an amnesty. But I think this was necessary because there are people who fall into situations, especially with their water bill.
Yes, NWC,
And because,
the leaks.
You have an unknown leak somewhere and you genuinely don't know, and it is accruing high cost.
Unbeknownst to you,
So, I mean, it is something that you have to be mindful of. But I heard somebody, I can't remember who it was it last year or the year before? Someone say something about the government needing to, I think it was last year, being able to be a little bit more understanding and offering grace to people who have NWC bills, because it is a debt that you are most likely to be able to collect because
water is life.
But not just that. But if you decide that you're going to rack up a water bill and don't pay it, and then leave the house, even if you sell the house, that debt is passed on to the person who's purchasing the house. It's not like some other bills that
dissipate.
You can't get away from it. So it's not like
it runs with the land.
Yeah, exactly. And so in that regard, government could afford to extend an amnesty, and it worked out because people during the period of amnesty,
people who are paying as well, because you know what, Dennis, people you could have an amnesty and people still don't come forward, and they still, because they've extended it, Renaldo, and they've collected $100 million too.
So
that also
says
that
people want to come forward.
So it's not that sometimes people want to be delinquent, you know. Sometimes it's a circumstance, and when they're given the opportunity, they take advantage of it. So big ups to all of those persons too who have stepped up and stepped out and paying your water bill. I appreciate it. The only thing I would also like to add is that the service will go along now with these payments. You know what I mean? Because some of us and some persons have experienced bad service, right? And so we want to make sure, with water, yes. And there are still many places that don't have water.
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Exactly, right? So we need to make sure that we're on top of that as well.
And the word is potable. Potable.
For somebody who needs to hear that, you don't know who needs to hear that. They need to hear that.
No, I'm just saying sometimes you
people say portable.
Portable. You get it in a script and it says portable, but it's potable.
Spell it, please.
Potable. The R isn't missing.
Okay. What part of speech is that?
It's noun?
I think so too. It sounds
or
like
a verb? No.
Adjective.
Adjective.
Okay, adjective. Okay,
Because
adjective.
you're describing it as being potable.
Potable, yes.
Yes.
Potable. Add that word. You see that on an April 1, just like this. Thank you,
Yes.
Uncle Dennis.
All right, wrapping up English class now.
Hey!
So,
Always did it.
experts warns of children's social media exposure. Experts are warning parents to be cautious about sharing their children's personal information online, as predators are exploiting digital footprints to target vulnerable minors. In Jamaica, child disappearances remain a grave concern, with some victims falling prey to human trafficking. Children's advocate Diana Gordon-Harrison cautions that oversharing, such as posting school uniforms and locations, makes it easier for criminals to track and lure children. This, backed by security expert Robert Finzi-Smith, who warns that predators don't just target children directly, they also study parents' online activity to gather details about their routines, movements, and vulnerabilities. In response, the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ, is calling for a comprehensive social media policy in schools, urging the government to regulate online exposure to protect students and encouraging families to rethink their online habits, warning that in the digital age, a simple post can have real-world consequences.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we've seen this played out.
Yeah. I would just have to be careful. There are some people who are just unscrupulous, right? And nefarious activities is their forte. That's what they do. And sometimes, you know, parents, you know, and again, Dennis, it's such a pain because you want to be able to share your children, you know, and you're not in any oversharing type of way, but I just want to share my child, you know, and we're doing stuff. And I can't do that, but we have to be very mindful. So, for example, I've noticed that some parents, you post the child, but you'll put the emoji over their face. There is technology now that can remove the emoji. I've also seen parents, like the child will be eating, and they put an emoji over their mouth. And I was asking the question, why would you do that? Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that persons, the criminals, predators, can actually take the child down if they're eating and put other things in their mouth and put them on porn sites and stuff. The dark web.
Wow.
And I'm saying, wow, I did. Because when I say, so the baby eat, why would you put that over their mouth to block that, you know? So parents, we have to be very aware in which the environment in which we are operating now, it's not business as usual. And criminals will look for loopholes and weak points and target them. So as best we can, you have to just put your pin in the elbow. Or them look at at this point.
It's a little bit easier, well, depending on the school that your child goes to. Like, for instance, my son, I'm just, as a matter of course, I don't talk about his school. Especially even if I'm talking about other children's school, like earlier today I mentioned Noah, but I'm not going to say the school, you know. If I put up a picture in his khaki uniform, I'm going to block out maybe the crest. I'm going to remove it just because. You know, if you're a girl child, the uniform is distinct. It is very obvious what school. So, I mean, you don't have that option. On the other side of it, though, the truth is that children get different metrics on social media. People respond to images of children. If I want a whole heap of likes and followers and whatever, just put up your picnic. People respond to children and animals and relationships, especially as a man. And so people will post their children because it gets them better numbers.
And now, especially Renaldo, when we live in a society, Dennis, where numbers equal money. So now you're getting paid. So people
overpost their children
and overshare
because of what it does for their metrics
and their money and their pockets. So sometimes it's like the child is actually the star of the show because people love that child. Maybe the child is smart or you know, affable and you know, cute or whatever it is.
Says witty things.
And so you put them out there, also selling them because you're making money off of them.
But you don't realize who is buying.
Danger.
Exactly. And just to add quickly, another thing that I personally don't like to see is, for example, when you have very young children, probably less than even 10 years old, and they have Instagram accounts.
No,
and some of these children do not have proper reading and comprehension skills. Yet they have an Instagram page. I find it very distasteful.
It comes back to the money because a lot of people are monetizing their children. Because as Dennis said, children up the algorithm. People love the child, and people and now too we live in a very gift-giving world. So a person will see your child or children. Oh my God, I love this sweetie. Can uncle send so and so? So you have the internet aunties, the internet uncles, and you know what? Most of the people I will say mean well, but then there are those
some
people
who don't, and all you need is one person who doesn't mean well.
For sure.
I don't believe in it, especially letting them have. I mean, you'll see some at the top of the page. It will say page run by mommy, right? That kind of
but
a thing.
But I must be on the page because you're not last. You know somebody? Well, you know people from our Facebook page. You know someone? You're just born. Who you know? Eh? You don't know anyone.
Exactly.
Go sit down. Study a book.
For sure.
But the regulation is a whole other conversation that we can have in another discussion segment.
But I definitely think it's something that we need to do because sometimes you have to help save parents from themselves.
Yes.
Amen. Yes. You have to. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, there's more sunrise on the other side.